and welcome to The Open Creative, brought to you by Sarnes & Jay. I'm Sophie Murphy, the co-founder of Sarnes & Jay, and I'm here today with Jennifer Grundy, our account director, and also Jenna Johnson, who is our community development manager.
Hi.
And we today are going to be talking about balancing work and home life as mums, obviously with us, but also within the company, the parents, the dads amongst our Sarnes & Jay team. I think you were working out, Jenna. What is it? How many kids?
So I worked it out today and we've got 16 under 12s. There are a few grown-up kids knocking around as well, but yeah, 16 under 12s and one on the way this year.
Oh no, nice, exciting. Well, second, it will be it will be the second 2023 baby since we've had our first just this last week with one of our team members having a little daughter. So which is exciting, waiting to see a little newborn. But yeah, so obviously there are more kids than all of us together in the team. But yeah, I think it's working. I mean, obviously, Josh and I obviously founded the company, and we have built up the company so it is around that kind of work-life balance, as we always know. Like I've always said about how we like being at home for kids' dinner time and being able to take it in turns doing the school run as well. I think has been really important for us as a family. And also when we've been employing team members and when we've been speaking to you guys, it's always been about, you know, one of the things straight away, it's kind of that open conversation. We are very open about working mums or working parents, and it's kind of adapting our life balance and trying to make it work both for work and home. So I think obviously with you, Jen, we obviously started working with you back in, gosh, can't even remember what year it was, a while back, but it was always then, wasn't it? It was about, we'd both been in a very similar situation with our kids and working around them, and I think evenings sometimes. And
I think one of the first projects, Josh and I were it was like Friday nights in the evening, just like kids are in bed and you tapping away on the computer, and that's the only time you had to do it. So yeah, and then through the pandemic, having to work from home with the children there, trying to find someone to look after them so we could get some hours in, and it's genuinely...
That was next level working on stuff.
But the whole company grew through that, so it was kind of formed around kids.
It was. I remember it used to be, I feel like we've gone back a little bit more where we try to be a bit more professional. Obviously kids aren't always in the background because they're at school, but back in the time when the kids' school was home and it was kind of like the little heads would rear up on the Zoom call and you'd be like, hi, mute, darling. But yeah, obviously it was navigating around homeschooling, and so I think everyone's whole working patterns went a bit through the roof at that time, didn't they? But then with you, Jenna, obviously you've got 4 kids and navigating that. They're all at school now though, so in a way I feel like once they get to school it's kind of like, okay, you've got a
definite milestone, isn't it?
It is.
All in full-time school, great. I mean, it is a constant juggle. I think it doesn't matter actually. I mean, my eldest is 11 and I still have to juggle things around her, but I think as employers, you particularly it doesn't put you off employing people. You know, you're kind of so willing to, and you know, we're fortunate in what we do as well, can be quite flexible. You know, you can do bits in the evening and at home and things like that, but it's exactly what you said. We've built it around children and built it around working parents, makes such a massive difference, because it's just you know, everyone's human. You know, we all have families, we all have things going on outside of work, and it's recognising that rather than expecting everybody, right, okay, you've all got a clock in at this time, you've got a clock out at that time, that's what you need to get done in a day, and you know, nothing else is gonna, it's just unrealistic to think that nothing's ever gonna get in the way of that, you know. So it's just, you know, it's just forward thinking, and I hope, you know, just the working world in general has kind of evolved in that way as well, and everybody kind of recognises that it's not a one size fits all working day, is it?
100%. I think also the other thing is that we're all between us all, it's kind of like, and often some of the conversations first thing in the morning is, how was your night?
Yeah.
Because obviously we're all in the same boat with our kids waking up, or I swear it's like every week, anyone got bugs or illnesses this week? It's
Christmas
like,
time.
Oh, that was a rough month for us all. It was kind of like, yeah, just next hurdle, right? Who's ill next? Who's at hospital? Who's at the doctor's? Who's trying to track down some antibiotics? Like, whatever it was a bit chaotic. But I think the good thing is that we're all in the same boat. We understand it, and I think as well, even with clients, what I've kind of loved as well is that people do understand it. We're all human. If anything, that mainly COVID's probably taught us is that actually
we all have a family.
We all have a family.
A lot of us have children, and we all have to kind of muddle along and help each other out and be understanding. And it's a bit of a team effort, not just within us, but also with the client. So yeah, I think, like you say, most of them get it now and are happy to be flexible where needed, which is great. And I think, as well.
Yeah, and I think the main thing is obviously we're professional and we know deadlines have got to be done and work's got to be done. I mean, if we know, like you said earlier, it's like sometimes there is evening work if you've had to sort out kids earlier in the work time, and you know you just do it. We know we've got a deadline, you get it done.
Yeah.
So. And then something else that I picked up on the other day, actually, a friend put on one of her social posts, but it was kind of like how your brains can shift. So it's kind of 1 minute you're thinking about, right, a social, strategic planning meeting or something kind of with work, and all of a sudden it's like, oh, yeah, I need to do that.
I need to book a dentist appointment.
Whatever it is. I don't know. I think that I'd like to think that's all parents, but I definitely think with mums it's kind of like, okay, think a dinner or a dentist or
your
whatever.
Checklist definitely merged, don't they?
Plan, social posts.
Yeah, exactly.
It's a fun balancing juggling act, isn't it?
Yeah, it definitely is. There's not a manual for it.
No.
There's no, here's how to juggle being a parent and also juggling your work and career. It's you muddle through, and
it's a thing, like, but it's nice to have a group of people that you can go, oh, this has happened, and you feel like the only one, and they go, oh yeah, that happened last week, and why don't you try this? Or
and not wasting time and energy feeling guilty about the fact that your child's ill at school and you've got a phone call and you've got to go and pick them up unexpectedly or something, and not feeling that not wasting your time thinking, oh my god, I'm going to lose my job, or I'm going to, and actually, which, there are jobs out there where you would have to think about that.
Some jobs, I suppose, you can't physically be away. Like, we're lucky in the sense of what we do. And
exactly.
Where we are, it's not like being on a shop floor of a shop, for example, where unfortunately you've got to be there. Your physical presence is like needed. I suppose there's that, which obviously works and it's bonus for us because unless it's a client meeting. But then equally, both of you have had my back sometimes when I've had client meetings, and it's kind of, you've done me a favour looking after my kids. So same, reciprocate the favour. Like I feel like we're a bit of an extended family.
Definitely.
And it always means we can get the job done. We're
always
able to attend the meetings. We can get the work done. If one of us has had to go home because of a sick child or brought them in, we can always actually carry on and get it done.
Out.
Yeah.
Good team.
And I think another thing as well is even just today, having spoken with someone who's looking to get back into their career after taking a break. I mean, I don't know with you guys, did either of you take proper career breaks while you had kids?
I didn't. We were running our own business at the time, so you never fully break away from it. But I definitely wasn't kind of out there working. I was thinking about a lot, and we'd have lots of conversations and things. But I definitely took a break from actual working, and hated it. I couldn't wait to get back to work.
But I think that is quite normal with some people. I think I don't know. I think maybe like with your first or whatever, it's a bit different. But actually, I think there gets a point where you kind of crave that adult. Yeah, it is.
I'd like first. I couldn't wait. I really didn't want to go back to work after Freddie, and then I had Bertie, and I literally couldn't wait to start working again. And just get a break from it and just be me and think.
I think that's exactly it. It's interacting with people on a day-to-day basis who actually know you as you. That you're not just someone's mum or wife or anything. It's actually remembering. Oh, hold on, I am my own standalone person. To actually have an identity.
Yeah. Do you know what else I've really enjoyed as well with every time going back to work after each 3 of mine? But it was actually dressing nicely and doing my hair and having a purpose
and having a reason
wanting to feel it, and not like purposely like I'd drop the kids off and then change my jumper so I knew that I had something that I didn't have sick or snot or food slurred around.
Such a good trick. I never thought of that.
Mop it off. It was like, oh, don't get me wrong, there's definitely been some times when I've been like, Oh, that jumper should have gone to the wash. But yeah, no, I've just really enjoyed having a purpose to make an effort and wash my hair and do my hair and do my makeup and get into that cycle again of, having taken care of my appearance. I don't know why. I think it's just a mum thing. I just didn't have time, and it was a bit of the last thing.
But it's a self-esteem thing, isn't it? It's like doing that, having a reason to do that and a purpose, for getting out of the house every day, and like you say, actually wearing something other than jogging bottoms and a old t-shirt or something, and it is having that purpose. It's all good stuff for your mental health. I think it's it just gives you a reason to get out there. I think the other thing to consider is kind of what both sides of your life, like the work life and your home life, how they both kind of benefit from the other one. So like, for example, your children will know that you're out working every day, or perhaps not every day, but whatever, going out to work. And, that installs, whether they know it or not, or whether they're following it at the moment, but it installs a work ethic to them. You are their role model, that it's monkey see, monkey do, isn't it?
Yeah,
and it's kind of, it's giving them that inspiration for when they're adult, and sort of setting that standard of, if you want something, you go out, you work hard and you get it, and that's life. So I think that there are life lessons to be learned, that way around. I think I'm better in my role at work for being a mum. It teaches you to multitask, if nothing else.
I feel it helps me be more efficient as well with my time, because my time is so limited and crucial, splitting it between home and work, that I feel like actually I'm a lot more on it and efficient. I don't have time for I just don't have time for rubbish. It's kind of like, right, I'm quite cutthroat.
This is what I'm doing.
You're more productive, aren't you?
Yeah.
And you can cherry pick what everyone has the same amount of time. We just pick what we want to spend on. And actually, because we're mums, we get home family time, and then we have work time, and we just have to make it work.
Very little procrastination time. Maybe 20 minutes in the shower or something.
I definitely used to procrastinate so much more, whereas now I'm kind of like, don't have time for that. It's right down military option. I sometimes get cool because of the stern face. It's like, I'm concentrating, I'm focused, I've got to get this done in like half an hour, whatever time it is. So and I think as well, you said about kind of the coming back to it. I think also for some people it is that financial stability, or kind of that financial side of it as well. Some people haven't got an option. Like, hopefully it is something you're going back to and you're enjoying coming here. Like you said, we enjoy going to work because it's a bit of a break from home life. Obviously, I think because some people be in the luxury they don't need to. Some people need to go back. So I think that's the other kind of thing as well. I mean, for everybody's circumstances, I guess, are different. But like you said about teaching kids, it's also kind of teaching our kids like about earning money, and we try and install it in our boys. And it's kind of like, well, we work to get money so that we can have a roof over our heads, and we can buy all those snacks that you like delving through in the cupboard. And
Marley.
Our youngest is quite partial to a snack, as everybody in the office knows. Snack. So I think that is like another important factor as well. And not underestimating the dads as well, because I know obviously we're the mums of the company. We've got Louise as well, who's obviously another working mum, but Steve, and we've got Josh as well, who do a good fair share of their working dad life, doing pickups and having, and Josh obviously picks in often.
Nello's taking notes.
Exactly. So Nello, our videographer and content creator, is going to be joining this conversation later this year from a baby side. So the sleepless nights coming in, and we'll understand these conversations we've been having, not to scare you too much, Nello. But I think it is, hopefully, I feel like with Sons and Jay, it's a good balance of the home and working life. And
I think it's important, if anybody kind of is listening to this or watching this who is considering going back to work as well after a break, and it can really be a work, because sometimes by the time you've paid for childcare and things like that, really financially, it doesn't make a huge difference. There is sort of that to consider for some people. But I would say if there's any way you can do it, because like, as long as you're working for the right employer, I think what it does for your self-confidence and self-esteem and your kind of everything and your mental health, I think is massively beneficial. And you kind of think, oh God, how can I juggle that? How can I be like a mum and work at the same time? And I know particularly when they're babies, you know, you kind of can't even grasp that idea, but it does work. You just make it work, and actually you're better for it. And so I think it's
I think,
career,
100%. And you touched on it earlier, like when you said about with your eldest, you didn't want to go back. And I was the same after my eldest. I remember crying and being in tears, thinking, oh gosh, I've got to go back. And how's someone else going to look after my baby? I think third time on, I was definitely a bit more hardened, and to the fact that I had a taster of what it was like to go back. So I was eager to get back. But you're right, for some of those first time mums kind of going back, I do remember that feeling. And it's kind of that apprehension as well, because I remember a few friends going, but my brain is mush. I literally can't think.
You can
thinking that I can't remember any of the terminologies or anything, but actually
you get back in the groove.
You get back into it. And it is much, even if it's full time, part time, whatever it is, whatever your personal circumstances need, or you know you've got to do, you kind of make it work. And I think overall it's positive having.
Don't underestimate
It's a juggle.
yourself.
It's a juggle. Everyone knows it, but we're all in it together.
Yeah,
so,
absolutely.
and we get it.
Yeah.
But I think that was I think we covered quite a lot on balancing parent life, but hopefully you found that helpful for anybody who's been listening. And if there's hopefully that's just kind of, if you are looking to go back to work, that's kind of giving you a bit of more food for thought, and or the other way perhaps, I don't know. But thank you very much, and stay tuned. We'll be joining, we've got a lot more podcasts in the upcoming plan, so stay tuned for further more. Thank you.